Hello, my name is Tom Prick. I am a progressive Democrat running for Pennsylvania's District 12 Congress. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. My father is a Vietnam veteran, and my daughter is she's serving in the Middle East now. Professionally, I'm a research associate at Carnegie Mellon University where I do brain research. It's learning and plasticity. I've been doing brain research since 1996, so 20 plus years. It's really developed a way I kind of look at solutions for problems, dissecting problems. I'll get into that. My competitor, opponent in District 12 is the very far right Tea Party corporate lawyer Keith Rothfuss. I couldn't have the cards stacked against me anymore. This is really like a David and Goliath story. You know, you got the hometown rural kid growing up, going away to the military, coming home, going to college, and kind of making a life in science. And against this corporate lawyer with the big corporate PACs behind him and the farthest right in these times of a Trump presidency is pretty crazy right now. So I'm leaving science to go into politics because not only am I disturbed like everybody else with how intolerant the government is becoming and the civil unrest I see as a result. Whether I agree or disagree isn't the point. The point is that exist, that people feel frustrated and this is their last option and things are out of control. I don't see the economy going any better, and frankly I don't want to see people suffer. Obviously, being in science for so long, I'm okay, but that's not good enough. And being mad isn't good enough. And I know I can go into Congress and fix this. I have concrete ideas, and I'll tell you about my platform. So the way I see is solving solutions. Okay, it's okay to be mad. It's good to be mad. It's good to call politicians, stuff like that. But you need somebody in Congress, and you need somebody in Congress with ideas that are executable. My ideas are twofold. One is a small business rescue grant. And I come up with these ideas for something like that, small business rescue grant, from a grassroots kind of perspective. It probably comes with, I was an occupier back in 2011. I went to New York twice, and Chicago and Tampa and DC twice, and Pittsburgh of course. And that was because of, you know, the banks failing and hurting families and things like that. So I kind of have this grassroots of, if you're going to make changes, it has to be at the ground level. So my economic ideas sprout the same way and can translate across the nation. So a small business rescue grant, it's not a loan, so that a family or a small business do not have to pay it back. And what happens is when a business is failing, when a business is struggling, what they can do is they apply for the grant. What is your business? Why is your business good? Why is it failing? And what will you do with the grant money to pull it out? And so there will be a review board, and the review board will decide on which small businesses have their act together. Because there's a lot of good reasons that small businesses fail. That is not because the business is bad or the business owner is bad. Sometimes it's hard economic times, like now, and even worse in the near future. Sometimes they need more research and development. Sometimes better advertising, sometimes it's location. There's a multitude of reasons. But what we want to do is save good small businesses that will be advantageous for that small community's economics. So the economy of a small community is based on these small businesses because they provide jobs, they provide a tax base, the business taxes, the employment taxes of the workers, and workers that have jobs have money to spend at other small businesses within that community. And if that small business goes under, their workers are unemployed. And now the taxpayers are supporting them. So it's a double whammy. If they keep their jobs, they keep the small businesses intact, You have a tax base that's adding to the tax base, not pulling from it from unemployment. Um, the other idea I have is another grassroots, um, small community kind of economic boon, and that is a free technical training, free technical school, and especially for anybody in the industry that's where they're like the coal industry, where the industry is moving on. This idea comes from, I grew up in Pittsburgh, and I actually was alive and very conscious. I was going on to preteen in the 70s, and I know what happened firsthand. I saw my grandfather, who was doing well at the steel mill and ended up becoming a pizza delivery boy, and what that did to him, not only economically but psyche. And I don't want that to happen anymore, and I don't think people should have to suffer because corporations leave or they outsource jobs. We can, but we can make it out. Like, it's very difficult to stop that from happening, and by all means, I want to. I'm not for this, but what I can do in the meantime is create a new way for people to train up and have more jobs, have more opportunity, and create a better standard of living for their families, and be able to kind of broaden their own horizon educationally, because there's a direct correlation with high education and a booming economy. So those are my two ideas. There's more ideas I don't have time to go into, but my criteria are very simple. They have to be realistic. They have to have a concrete idea how they'll be executable, and they have to be attainable. Meaning, I have to be able to, as a first-term congressman, pass them, write this bill and pass it, and get bipartisan agreement, at least enough to pass the bill. I think spurring jobs in small communities that will translate across the country is something that I could get bipartisan help on, even in this toxic political climate. And who knows what's going to happen in 2018 with a mix of Democrats, Republicans, and maybe even independents at this point. What my final goal is, my long-term goals, I won't go into other plans, I have them, but what I want to do is make the United States a self-sustaining economy, and that will spur us on. I want us to be able to get those dollars circulating within small communities, and when you spread out across the nation, that gives you a strong base economy. And then you can start building up, and we can start bigger programs and talk about free educations and community colleges and free educations and universities, and talk about those bigger ideas once we can build the economy up so that we can support something like that. What I need? Well, if you like these ideas and you like what you see at my website, tompragueforcongress.com, if you like those ideas, love these progressive ideas, I need your help. Even if you're not in my district and you can't vote for me, that's fine. You can still help me. One, the most obvious, is financial support. You can donate on the website, and that would be great. Another way is if you can't financially do it, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Share our website. Share articles about us. You can phone bank for us to gather donations. You can come and get signatures for us. There's a lot of things that you can do. Social media, pointing media on us, and the more you share us, the more exposure we get, the more support we'll get, because there'll be other people that also want to help. And that's the way that we're going to build this, and that's the way we're going to get progressive Democrats, people who actually have plans and can execute those plans, get them into Congress and change things. So it's going to take everybody. It can't be just the voters of District 12, and that's where this campaign against a Tea Party corporate lawyer, against the corporate super PACs, that's where this race is really me, you against them, and it's going to have to be a race for the people, by the people. I can't do it without you. If you like what you hear, by all means, please help. Please help in this war, because what we need now is boots on the ground in Congress. We need soldiers in there. We need to start fighting, and we will be able to change this. So I thank you very much for your time, and I really, really hope you liked what you see, and let's keep up the good fight.